Welcome back to Breakfast with Bob. Standing at the finish line of the IT World Triathlon Championships in beautiful Chicago, right by the lakefront. And I am with Barb Lindquist, Olympian, former #1 in the world, one of our favorite people on the planet. How you doing, Barb?
I'm great. It's wonderful to be here in this World Championship setting.
Well, you should be very excited because you're really the person who created the college program to go find people who could do this crazy sport, had a little swim background, run background, and hey, how'd you like to learn to ride a bike?
Yeah.
Gwen Jorgensen, Katie Zafaris. Talk a little bit about the program, the initiation of that, creating the program itself, and then going out and finding these athletes.
Yeah, well, all of our Olympians came from running or swimming backgrounds in college, except
Like
for
yourself.
Yeah, except for Matt Reed, who grew up in New Zealand,
Right.
and Julie Swale, who played water polo.
Right.
So it was kind of a natural thing to go and look in talent ID in our NC2A programs
Right.
for those runners who swam
Or
growing up,
swimmers who
or
ran.
swimmers who ran. Yeah.
So when you reach out to college coaches and say, do you have anybody who fits this?
Yeah, I do. I do. I've tried to create relationships with the college coaches. Some are more open and willing
Yeah.
than others, but we're not trying to steal them from their programs.
No.
We just want to give them an opportunity after they've done graduating and finished their NC2 eligibility. So I do that, and then also trying to reach out to the athletes themselves via running websites or being at NC2A swimming and running championships.
Right.
Yeah, and then it's word of mouth now that
People see.
yeah, you see success. Success breeds success. So Gwen, Katie, they've done an amazing job for promoting this program.
Right. Well, you think back, someone like yourself was a great swimmer, not quite the ability that you wanted to win an Olympic medal, right? Dave Scott was a great swimmer, but all of a sudden he hears about this triathlon thing and realizes, I train more than anybody else in the world. You put all three of these things together, I'm better than anybody else. I'm never going to get there as just a swimmer.
Yeah.
So someone like a Gwen Jorgensen, what impressed you about her enough to go out and recruit her?
Yeah, well, she first, many people don't know this, but she actually swam at Wisconsin first.
First 3 years?
Yeah, she ran in high school, swam at Wisconsin, kind of walked on. She'd probably tell you she was, the B list of the swimming program.
Right.
And then her running coach from high school convinced her to give running a go again in college.
In her last 2 years when
Yeah.
she was getting her CPA.
Yeah, so she's the perfect
Absolutely.
background for it.
Top swimmer, Big Ten championship runner. And when you reached out to her, because again, you're saying you have to learn to ride a bike from scratch, basically from scratch.
Yeah, and she had a job all lined up. She had to
Ernst & Young,
yeah,
CPA.
Yeah, she's an organized, goal-oriented person, which is why she's done great in the sport. But she had her life path kind of set out. So
Until you came in and took her in another path.
Yeah, she kind of went a little bit, holding on, and went from 50 hours a week or 60 hours to 50 to 40 to 20 to 10, and then said, okay, I'm going to do this. Do this thing.
I remember talking to Tom Schuler, a former 7-Eleven cyclist, and he told me riding with Gwen, falling over at stoplights, they're learning to clip in. So they're starting almost Bambi, like learning how to ride a bike.
Yeah.
But it seems like it comes quickly if they've got that engine.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they have engines. And then we talent ID for people who are athletic, because not every runner or swimmer is athletic. In this sport, you have to have great body awareness, and you don't necessarily in the swim and the run. You can fake it with a good engine and go in a straight line, but so we look for people who do have good balance, because that helps them
not fall over.
Exactly.
Were you surprised? Because it's 2010, she becomes part of the program. 2012, she's an Olympian. That's unbelievable.
Pretty amazing. Yeah, really amazing. Yeah, and she's deserved every accolade and every success she's had, because she's worked really hard.
She's committed,
and she's been professional about it on and off the course.
Well, what's interesting, I married her bike coach, which I think which is a great move.
Yeah, which I did too. Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you really?
Well, Lauren.
Was he your bike coach?
Well, he was a cyclist, and then I married him, and he was then my bike coach. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So the interesting thing to me is makes the Olympic team in 2012, and you think, okay, that's good enough, but she's won 12 races in a row, going for 13. She's already sewn up a spot for the next Olympic team. As someone sometimes having a lot of success between Olympics, when I think back, Siri Lindley in between Olympics, #1 in the world, yourself, right in between Olympics, getting that right and being at your absolute peak, during the Olympic year is tough.
Yeah.
You know, when you look at a Gwen, and right now with top 3 women in the world between Sarah True and Katie Zafaris and Gwen Jorgensen, maintaining that,
Yeah.
how hard is that?
Yeah, I was just actually talking with Bevan Doherty yesterday, and we were talking about the fact that we know it's hard enough to get number 1.
Yes.
But to stay on the top is just a whole level of difficulty.
Right.
So she's
Amazing.
sound between
Yeah.
the ears. She's
Yes.
rooted. She's grounded. She's got a great support staff around her.
Right.
So, yeah, she's doing great.
What did you learn during your experience as a triathlete, becoming becoming an Olympian, that has helped you in this pursuit?
Yeah, so when I talk with athletes now that are in our collegiate recruitment program, who are under, our coaching tutelage and grade, I always ask them, are you finding things outside of the sport to keep your mind engaged and to create balance? Because I think one thing that I learned is that it can't all be about triathlon, and your identity can't be all about wrapped up in this race, and there has to be something else going on that's important in your life. And that's really hard when this sport consumes so much of our
Yes.
time and energy. But that's my main question to them, and making sure that because all these athletes they're super smart. They have
Right.
other opportunities,
Yes.
and they need to keep their mind sharp and engaged and doing something.
Because otherwise your whole identity becomes triathlete, and if you have a bad workout or a bad race,
Oh, it's so much pressure. It puts pressure on.
Yes.
Yeah, that I am who I am, my race result,
Yes.
and that's not healthy.
Katie Zafaris was Katie Hersey. Another athlete, steeplechaser, Syracuse.
Yeah.
Did you found her as a steeplechaser?
Yeah. And her running coach, Chris Fox at
Yeah.
Syracuse, was great with contacting me. And steeplechasers are great because
They're athletes.
They're athletes. They're that athleticism, but they're strong in the hips, and that just helps.
Oh, interesting.
She's transferred to the bike really well. First time I saw her in a race as an age grouper, right, it was between her junior and senior year in college. I just saw her riding away on the bike in the race, and steady hips and strong, and I'm like, that'll be good.
I
That'll be
love
good
that.
someday. Yeah.
And steeplechase people, I've
They're
interviewed.
mongrels.
Oh, they
They're
are
mongrels,
You know,
yeah.
you talk about, to me, 400 IM, 200 butterfly, steeple.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Those are brutal. Those are the events that 1 second you're feeling great, the next second you are done. Right. So, is that the fact that they're so tough? Is that something you like about steeple guys?
Definitely. And we have some steeplechaser guys as well.
Do ya?
Yeah, that we've recruited in. So,
Now, obviously, the women's side has taken off.
yeah.
And the men's side, I'm sure you're getting there, but the men's competition is at a different level. With
Yeah.
Gomez and Brownlee and all those guys. And a lot of those guys started when they're 8, 9 years old.
Yeah.
Is it different with the guys for you?
Yeah, I think it just takes longer.
Yeah.
It takes longer. And just looking at all of our numbers, the same number of men contact me each year, are my initial pool as
Yeah.
women. And the same number of those come under my umbrella and are bona fide athletes. And the same number or percentage of those get their elite cards.
Right.
But it's from there that is our separation of the men and the women, and that the women have gone on from that elite card and
Become
have gotten
the
their
best.
Yeah, and the men have kind of Continental Cup has been their cap off point. So
Right.
I think because there's a lot of reasons, but I think the depth of the men, it just makes it harder to just break in there. And
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you know how it is, just like with Gwen. Once one does it,
yeah,
everybody will be like, well, if she can do it,
Yeah.
I can do it too.
Yeah.
What girls do we not know about? We know about the top 3. What girls? Because it sounds like we've got a number who are potential top 10 characters.
Yeah, so there's 2 more who've been in our CRP resident program, Kirsten Casper and Renee Tomlin, and they started the sport in May, June of last year, and
and
they're
they've already
here.
won some races.
They've won some races. I can't remember if it's like 15th and 18th ranked or something like that here.
in the world.
Yeah. So, and they're both went to Georgetown runners, both amazing young ladies, and they're very young in the sport.
Love it.
And you'll be hearing a lot about them
Love
this race and onward.
Barb Lindquist is our most valuable player when we talk about USA Triathlon and what's happening in this country. Thanks for all you're doing, Barb. I just think that being able to say, okay, yes, we want to develop 7, 8, 9-year-olds, but we can't wait for the 7, 8, 9-year-olds. We got to find some talent now to keep everybody motivated.
Yeah.
Congrats on everything you're
Yeah,
doing.
and thanks for all you do with promoting this program. And because the people who are listening,
Yes.
they might know people who are in college who have that swimming background, and our USA team members,
Yes.
those age group athletes out there, they they know
Right.
other athletes.
It's so funny because I used to always think at Foot Locker National Cross Country Championship, I'm like, these are the best runners in the country, best high school runners in the country. And a lot of these guys they're going to run in college, but they might not become Olympians. So for them to know about the sport of triathlon is not a bad thing. And I love the fact that you're doing that type of stuff, that you're reaching out to those guys then.
Yeah.
You're the best.
All right, thanks, Bob.
Barb Lindquist has been a guest again. This is Breakfast with Bob. We're at the ITU World Triathlon Championships. Hold on, everyone. We will be right back.